still of the night, I think of you. My heart beats with every thought of you. You're the one I can't let go. In your arms I find my home. Love, sweet love, it's you I'm dreaming of. Every moment with you feels like a gift from above, forever and all.
Rose, calm down, Amber said. Over my dead body. Pat screamed and then laughed. Gone are the days when you alone had power over them. I have power now, and once he gets here, the first thing I would order him to do is to denounce you and your entire family. Power? Should I tell you what your power has accomplished so far? My last born, Collins, came home last night. He is not your son. He is mine. Mine alone. Pat was getting hysterical. No, Pat, he is mine. And that was why he ran away from you last night. He came to work with me today, just needing to have me within his sights, needing occasional hugs, smile, and care. I raised all my children to be independent. I thought his behavior was odd. Then I figured it out. He needed assurance that I am still his mother. He needed to know that he belongs to me and not the monster who gave him the scare of his life. The monster that chased him from his brother's house to his mother's arms. Without warning, Pat lunged at Rose, and a commotion erupted as the women tried to get her off Rose, who was older and didn't have Pat's strength. And then, just as if on cue, Collins entered. "Mom!" he screamed, and the two women stopped. Everyone was transfixed, watching and thinking, which of the moms was he referring to? What is going on here? Mom, are you alright? Pat began to cry, moving towards him. This monster you call a mother wants to kill me. She wants me out of your house and didn't mind doing it by force. Everyone quietly watched, wondering. Rose was busy adjusting her clothes and hair, looking very embarrassed. Just as Pat got near, he sidestepped her and went to hold Rose. "Mom, are you okay?" "I am sorry. I didn't mean to embarrass you," Rose cried, and he comforted her. Pat stared shocked, and then she let out a screech. "No! No! I gave birth to you. I carried you for 9 good months. I raised you for 10 good years. No! Get away from that thief." She lunged at Rose again, but Collins caught her. She began to struggle, trying to kick, burst, or bite Rose. The door opened the second time, and Chuck entered with both Uche and Stanley. They rushed to help Collins. Stanley restrained Pat as best as he could. Chuck rushed to Rose. "Mom, are you alright?" Rose dashed a tear from her eyes. "I'm fine, sweetheart." "For crying out loud," Chuck roared and turned to Pat, but Uche grabbed him as if anticipating his move. "Everybody, calm down," Tessie said. "What happened?" Uche asked. Collins left Stanley to hold Pat and walked over to hold Rose as she sniffled. "It's alright, Mom. Come with me. Let me get you a drink." Collins led Rose out. Chuck shrugged off Uche's hands and followed Collins and Rose. Pat watched them leave, and then she began to weep. Stanley helped her to a seat. Everybody watched as she cried as if her heart was breaking. "Is this how much they hate me?" Pat asked no one in particular. Tessie wiped tears from her eyes. "I don't believe they hate you, but you haven't done much to earn their love." "What could you possibly know about it? You have kids that love you, parents that raised you, and a husband that supports you. You know nothing about my life or the choices I've had to make to help my children. I was once in your position where my only child hated me and didn't want anything to do with me. Then I realized it was all my fault. I hadn't done anything to deserve her love or earn her trust. So I got to work doing that, Amber said. Pat lashed out on her. What do you think I'm doing here? I am here because I'm trying to make us a family again. But she began to cry. Using their sister as bait is not the way to make them love you. For crying out loud, you were blackmailing them with your own sister, whose life may be in danger. How do you expect them to love, trust, or want you as their mother? Tessie continued. Pat continued to cry sorrowfully, ignoring them. Do you know where she is? Uche asked. She's with her father. He's maltreating her. Last I heard, she called him a monster. I know only Chuck could help her, but I thought she could still endure for another month while I tried to bring our family together. Do you have the address? Uche asked again. She nodded. I will get Chuck, Stanley said. Chuck was rushing into the living room. Yomi called, he said. They began to rush out. Wait for me, I will come with you, Colin said. Stay and take care of Mom, Uche said as they rushed out. Rose came out from the kitchen in that instant. She watched Pat on the floor. It seemed that the news of her daughter had made her more sorrowful. I am sorry, Pat. I shouldn't have provoked you. But I am a mother, and no mother wants to see her children suffer. I know they don't love me, but I did not know that they hate me. I didn't know they didn't care. They love you, the way they all rushed to your side at the sight of one teardrop. I am truly a monster to them, and now that they have found her, they will kick me out. Rose walked over to Pat. It is not too late. You can change. You can do it. You need help, Pat. If you let me help you, within 1 year, you will have a better relationship with them. Pat hesitated. If you truly want their love and care, it doesn't come cheap or easy. You have to be more than willing to fight for it. Fight all your addiction for their love. What do you say? Would you let me help you? Rose persisted quietly but firmly. I don't believe there's another way to their hearts, Tessie said, walking closer to Pat. I know what it feels like to have your own child not want you because of the things you have done. I would help you. You would have my support, Amber added. You have my support too, and when you get better, there would always be a room in this family for you, Mama spoke for the first time. Helen watched the scene, her heart breaking. She had wanted to say something for a long while, but couldn't bring herself to say it. How could she, when she didn't know how long she was staying? How could she promise to support Pat when she herself was planning to leave as soon as the bodyguard's chalk planted all around her lost concentration? She heaved a sigh and stayed quiet. Pat hesitated. I have to go away for a long time? Not a long time if you work hard, Rose answered. I won't see my baby girl when they bring her home. Right now you can do her no good the way you are. You don't want her to become like you, do you? Pat heaved a sigh. I want her to become like you, respected and loved. Like I promised before, I will always love them like they were mine. And I will also make sure they have a room in their heart for you. But not like this. Not the way you are now. I will do it. The other women seemed to heave a collective sigh of relief as they dashed tears from their eyes, watching Rose and Pat hug. Chuck watched impatiently, tapping his fingers on the tinted glass windows as Uche drove. Yomi didn't say anything other than he had found her. He had also sounded very worried. Chuck heaved a sigh. Though Yomi had said he would take care of it and asked them to meet him at the hospital. But Chuck wouldn't hear of that, so here they were. Stanley's low whistle as they saw the road they were going to take cut into Chuck's thoughts. It was an erosion-corroded road, with just a few houses and even fewer people hanging around. I believe we have to make the rest of the journey on foot, Uche said. Not advisable with Mr. Celebrity with us here. They both turned to look at Chuck. I am not sure I want to risk a mob of your fans. We don't have enough security. I came prepared. Chuck pulled up his hoodie and wore his sunglasses. Uche chuckled and got out of the car. Just behind them, another SUV stopped, and about 5 bodyguards stepped out. Look out for a church called Devil Die Ministry, Chuck said to no one in particular. Why do I keep remembering Wrong Turn, the movie? Stanley replied. Uche laughed. Now my imagination is up and running. There it is, Chuck pointed. Just then, Yomi came out of the compound and beckoned on them. I still think we should have let Yomi handle everything. Would you release your daughter to a total stranger? Chuck asked. This is it? Uche asked Yomi. Are they around? Stanley asked. I haven't seen anybody come or go yet, and Chuck said to do nothing till you guys get here. They entered the compound containing an uncompleted bungalow. They got to the front door leading to the bungalow and knocked. A man came out, staring at them curiously. Good evening, Chuck greeted. We are here to see Pastor Okon. Who wants to see him? I and my brothers. May we come in? The man led the way into his house. The 3 of them entered a surprisingly well-furnished room compared to the outside. I see a bright future for you, he pointed at Stanley. But I also see enemies. Families turned enemies are seeking to destroy you. The pastor began to prophesy. Stanley chuckled, exchanging looks with Uche and Chuck. We are not here for your prophecy, Pastor, Chuck interjected. Then he stopped prophesying to look at them with curiosity. Do you know a woman called Pat? You should, since you have her daughter, Miracle. The pastor sat and looked at Chuck closely. Now I know you, he laughed airily. Your mother loved to brag about you. I did not really believe her. I mean, if the greatest footballer of all time is her son, what was she doing in a brothel, selling herself for nothing? Well, an explanation to that is not why we are here. We are here for Miracle. She's not around. Even if she is, why would I let you see her? Because I'm her brother, Chuck answered through gritted teeth. He was getting impatient with the man's arrogance. I am her father, so I say who she could see and who she could not. I will make it worth your while. You name whatever you want, a church building, a car. I will give you whatever you want. You will give me all this just to see your sister? No, I will give you all this if you release her into my custody. I want to raise her. I will not sell my child the way your mother sold you. Chuck went speechless with shock. How do you know she's your child? Stanley said, cutting into the conversation. From her mother's profession, the father could be any number of the men paying her for sex. Instead of wasting our time, we should call for a proper DNA test. Who knows? Maybe you do not have any legal rights over her. The pastor stared at Stanley with a new kind of fear. Leave my house. Now all of you, leave my house, or I'll call the attention of the youth and say you are ritualists. Uche got off the phone. You could do that, Pastor, but we are not leaving until we see her, and some kind of agreement is made regarding her future. I anticipated how all this would go and came prepared. The police from the headquarters are just 5 minutes away. I just got off the phone with my lawyer. I hope you're ready for this custody battle. Oh, police? The pastor stammered. What reason could they possibly have to arrest me? Just then, Yomi entered. Come with me, he said urgently. They rushed to the backyard and Yomi pointed at the cages. What is this? Stanley whispered at last as others seemed to have lost their voices. The girl is in one of the cages. What? Uche stooped low to get a better look. Where is that pastor? Get him before he escapes. Chuck roared. 2 of the bodyguards rushed to do his bidding. Where are you? You and your guys need to get here now. Uche spoke on the phone. I will kill him, Chuck said, about to rush after the pastor. Let's get them out of there first, Uche said to him, looking at the locks. The bodyguards began to look for a way to break the locks. Just then, the gate opened and some group of people came in. Pastor, no day. The group then saw the people in cages and stopped. Are you members of this church? No. We just want to. We don't know anything, no. The bodyguards returned with the pastor.
In the still of the night, I think of you. My heart beats with every thought of you. You're the one I can't let go. In your arms I find my home. Love, sweet love, it's you I'm dreaming of. Every moment with you feels like a gift from above.